Are you tired of not getting enough leads or not booking enough jobs because people are undercutting your price, or homeowners just care about getting the absolute cheapest price, or they go with another company for just a variety of reasons that you just don't know why? So I'm gonna share with you an equation. Before we get into this, it's not like hard, it's not calculus, it's none of that. It's just basically 4 variables that you can actually tweak in order to get more leads, book more jobs, sell at higher prices, and things like that. If this is the first time that you've been on the channel, my name is Joe. I used to own a fence installation company. I had since sold that, and now I own a fence supply company. And what I do is I try to help contractors that buy from us and people online figure out ways to get more leads, book more jobs, and things like that, because I used to struggle a lot and I don't want you to do that. In our particular area, I know for a fact that there's certain companies out there that are charging like 50% more than their competitors, and they're still booking the job. And the reason for it, not specifically related to this equation, but because of how they manipulate these numbers unknowingly, that they're able to book more jobs. And the great part about this is if you do this, you're going to be on the same playing field as them. So let's discuss this value equation, okay? So basically there's 2 numbers above the line, and then there's going to be 2 numbers below the line, okay? So the first 2 things is the desired outcome, and then the likelihood of that being achieved, okay? And then the 2 bottom numbers are going to be the time delay and then the effort and sacrifice. What we want to do is we want to maximize the numbers on the top, and then we want to minimize the numbers at the bottom as much as we possibly can. And the more that you can do that, the bigger the discrepancy is, the more value that you're basically providing to the homeowner in their eyes, and which is going to increase the likelihood of you actually booking the job, getting the leads, booking the jobs, even though you're not the cheapest option out there. Let's start with the desired outcome. So they are calling you, if you're a fence company, they're calling you to get a quote for a fence or get a fence installed, right? But they don't really want a fence. If you think about it, it's not the fence they want. They're not calling because they're like, oh, I really want some like vinyl, or I want some like wood items in my yard. That's not the purpose, right? The purpose of that fence is for what it'll do for them. We used to use this in my company all the time, okay? And so what we would do in the beginning, we were usually in the middle to the low end for the pricing, right? And then during COVID, what we would do, and it wasn't intentionally at first, and then we started realizing what was happening, is that because everyone was getting so busy, everyone started what people used to be in like the 2, 3, 4 week lead time, range from when time they booked the install till when they actually got installed. What ended up happening is you went to like, a lot of these companies went to 8, 10 to 12 weeks, right? And so what happened is we went from being looked at as long as all these other companies, but because we added all these sub crews on, we went down to like 2 weeks. And so what ends up happening is people will pay more to get something faster, right? So we're booked out, like we could install your fence in 2 weeks versus someone else that can install it in 8 weeks. And then the last part of this equation is the effort and sacrifice. And again, you want to decrease this as much as you possibly can, right? So what are some of the ways that you can decrease the effort and the sacrifice that they are putting through, right? So number 1, we're going to start with the pricing, okay? So let's say that everyone in the area is around $7,000, right? But you happen to be just say $8,000, right? Well, the pain is higher with the $8,000 versus the $7,000, right? But the one thing you can do is offer financing. So if everyone is charging $7,000, you're $8,000, but now you offer financing, and instead of the $8,000, you're like, hey, it's $150 a month. You're decreasing the pain because they're not putting out $7,000, they're putting out $150 a month. So that's a way where you can decrease the pain, so that way you can end up booking the job, right? The other things that you can do. So if no one else in your area is doing the permits, you can start offering to do the permits because it's less effort and sacrifice for them. They don't have to take off of work, they don't have to figure out what to do, they don't have to contact the township, they don't have to do any of that stuff. But you could. So here's some of the other things that you can do related to the installation itself. So again, you could get the permit. You could also do like a free yard cleanup, right? So some people, we used to offer it as an upgrade, is where after the installation, if there any dirt or anything else like that, we would actually take care of all that, rake it up and take care of any excess dirt so they didn't have to deal with anything like that. Now, you're not going to be able to charge $10,000 and other people are charging $7,000, but I'm telling you now, just with simple things such as the time delay. Again, we used to be able to charge $9,000 and other people were charging like $7,500 just because we were installing so much faster. And that's why I talk about using subs and everything else all the time, because it gives you that flexibility to get that fence installed as quickly as possible. If you found this helpful, hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think in the comments. If there's anything that you have personally done that has helped improve the, your closing rate and being able to sell for higher pricing and things like that. And maybe it applied to this value equation, but you just never knew anything about it. Let me know what you think, and if you end up trying it, and let me know what the results are. So thanks and have a great day. Talk to you.